Today I thought we'd talk about another ops position. It can be a great avenue to the transportation departments and even kind of a reboot to our careers in a way. I'm Marty T. Hawkins with Warehouse and Operations as a Career, and I appreciate you checking in with us again this week. You know, with the seasons changing, I wanted to talk a little bit on heat stress too. I think we've covered it a couple of times already. But well, we're already approaching those triple-digit degrees in a couple of regions that I oversee, so it's probably worth mentioning again about now. Anyway, so I was asked last week if you had to have a CDL or commercial driver's license to be a spotter. For those of y'all that may have never heard that term, it could be a southern thing, I guess, as I know up north the position is referred to as a yard mule driver or yard jockey. I've heard it referred to as a hostler driver and yard driver too. They're really all the same thing. Basically, in the distribution world anyway, a spotter is the person that will spot the trailers, backing them into an assigned dock door so the product or load can be loaded by the warehouse and then pulls it away from the dock once loading is complete and stages it for our transportation departments to assign a driver to the load, which will then go out for delivery. The spotter position carries quite a bit of responsibility with it. He or she will have to make certain that the right trailer is docked at the correct door so it's loaded properly. In the food industry, the trailer may need a reefer unit or a refrigeration unit on it to aid with keeping the products at the correct temperatures. Or if it's a large load of equipment, they'll need to make sure the trailer has the proper securing equipment, attached to it. Things like straps and chains. I can also share with you that this job's not going to be for everyone. A spotter is moving 8 to 10 hours a shift at your larger facilities. And I mean really moving. And think about all the inclement weather, days or nights, rain, sleet, snow, really whatever. Those trailers have to get to the docks. I think the hardest thing or skill that's going to be required for this position, and one that I struggled with, is that you have to be very proficient at backing a trailer. I was okay, and I mean just okay, with backing a 36-foot unit, but our job may require us to back 28 foots, 36 foots, 48 foots, and 53 foots, maybe even throughout a single shift if our industry uses all sizes in their fleets. And any driver is going to tell you, with the turning radius being different with each one of them, that you'd better know what you're doing or you're going to be there for quite a while. To answer the question, typically no. You will not really need to possess a CDL to be a spotter. Most companies that I'm familiar with, since you will be working in their trailer yard with no street driving, only really requiring a clean driving record, and that we're drug-free and of course have a regular operator's license that's in good standing. And of course, you'll need to be able to back a trailer in a timely manner. I've found that it's not uncommon at all for this position to be assigned to or filled by the warehouse departments. I've used loaders and order selectors that had expressed, to me a desire to one day be a driver. And what a great way to farm a new driver, right? I would just have a delivery driver work with them out in the wide open yard. Teach them how to operate and drive the tractor or yard spotter truck, and teach them how to, hook and unhook as well as the mechanics of backing the trailers. Some facilities may use this position to train new drivers, especially those route delivery positions where backing around cars in parking lots or down alleys are going to be required. And these are great jobs for a driver that may have pointed out on their CDL, maybe had just too many tickets or infractions and lost his or her commercial license for a while. I know several organizations that prefer an ex-driver, if you will. They bring the experience factor with them. Personally, I always liked offering the training to individuals that were aspiring towards transportation. Let them get some experience and test drive the challenges a bit. Now, you have to be kind of careful here. All this equipment is expensive. In many instances, like pretty much regularly, you'll only have 4 feet or less on both sides of your dock lane to stab that unit between trailers. It can be taught, but a little natural skill doesn't hurt either. My suggestion would be that you go mention it to your management team. They'll share any requirements with you, maybe even help you get your license one day. With there being such a driver shortage here in the States right now, it could even turn into a fast track for you to that new career. You know, earlier I mentioned the environments and weather we'll be working in as a spotter, and I need to add the heat as well. As a spotter, we'll need to stay hydrated. Climbing in and out of tractors and trailers, chocking our trailer wheels and cranking up and down their landing gear is going to be wearing on us. I hear about 3 or 4 cases of heat stress out in the yards every year. And here's a good place to kind of segue into the other topic I wanted to touch on today. Let's talk a little bit about heat stress. And heat stress is a very real danger in our industry, ladies and gentlemen. We've mentioned it several times in other episodes, so I won't really harp on it today, but let's try and hit the high points real quick. NIOSH, or the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, tells us that workers that are exposed to extreme heat or work in hot environments may be at risk of heat stress. Heat stress can result in heat stroke, heat exhaustion, heat cramps, or even heat rashes. They go on to tell us how heat can also increase the risk of injuries in workers, as it may result in sweaty palms, fogged up safety glasses, and dizziness. I found all that at www.cdc.gov site, and I'll add their link in today's show notes on our website, warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com. It's pretty neat, and they have several links with safety posters and a lot more information. One of those posters is the NIOSH Fast Facts sheet. It covers maybe the 4 most important things us as employees may need to know about heat stress. If we're supervisors or managers, we should make sure all of our associates are really well versed in them as well. Let's start off with heat stroke, a condition that occurs when our body becomes unable to control its temperature. This is really dangerous and can cause death or permanent disability. I know of several facilities that offer employees a cooling scarf for the summer months. Many of them provide a cooler with ice water for their employees to keep them moist with throughout the shift. I myself think something like that really helps. Some of the symptoms for us to watch for are high body temperature, confusion, loss of coordination, hot, dry skin or profuse sweating, and a throbbing headache, possibly even seizures and a coma. If we notice any of these symptoms, we need to call for immediate medical assistance and move the worker to a cool area, maybe a shaded area, and remove excess clothing and apply cool water to their body. Heat exhaustion is the body's response to an excessive loss of water and salt, usually through sweating. The symptoms to look for are a rapid heartbeat, heavy sweating, extreme weakness or fatigue, dizziness, nausea and or vomiting. They may be very irritable too. Fast, shallow breathing, a slightly elevated body temperature. If we notice even one of these symptoms, we need to get to a cool area and rest for a few minutes. And then heat cramps. Heat cramps can affect workers who sweat a lot during strenuous activity. Sweating depletes the body's salt and moisture levels. Those symptoms can include muscle cramps, pain, and spasms in our abdomen, arms, and legs. If we feel anything like these indicators, we need to stop all activity and sit in a cool place for a while. We should drink some clear juice or a sport beverage, or maybe some water with a snack of some kind. I've never been a big supporter of salt tablets, and this safety poster adds to avoid salt tablets. It's really important that we don't return to strenuous work for a few hours after our cramps have subsided too. And we need to seek medical attention if we have any of the following things like heart problems, that we're on a low sodium diet, or if the cramps do not subside within something like 1 hour. It goes on to explain some of the things we can do to protect ourselves, like take more breaks when we're doing that heavier work, and in high heat and humidity. Taking our breaks in a cool area. Drinking water frequently. Drink enough water that you never really become thirsty. It lists some really great ideals. Check out the link that I've included to it. I think you'll enjoy reading it. These tips are so important for us and our peers or as managers for our employees, especially in some of the environments we may work with. Like if we're normally a freezer or cooler order selector, we'll need to be careful if we switch over to the dry area. Our bodies are going to need to acclimate to the new environments. Production facilities can get downright hot. We need to watch for symptoms with ourselves and keep an eye on our teammates also. I hope we answered the question regarding the spotter position today. If a part of your planning is to end up in the transportation world, I think it's a great first step. It'll give you a little experience and help open doors for you down the road. With the summer months quickly approaching, remember that heat stress is something to take seriously. If you'd like more information on what it is and how to protect yourself, please Google it or send us an email to host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com and we'll send you some great links. Until next week, please stay cool and keep yourself and your teammates safe.